Hi, I'm Steve Younis. Welcome to the Speeding Bulletin, your Superman news video recapping the events of the week October 23rd to October 29th, 2015. Our top news stories this week included: Supergirl takes #1 spot in the ratings, David Goyer defends the ending of Man of Steel, and NECA releases a 7-inch Christopher Reeve Superman figure. Let's check out these stories and more in this week's Speeding Bulletin. In movie news, in the latest edition of Total Film magazine, Henry Cavill describes how Bruce Wayne fits into the events of Man of Steel, which leads into Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and how that sequence of Bruce Wayne in Metropolis during the battle with Zod serves as a prologue to this new movie. He said what happens there is one of Bruce's buildings gets destroyed and he's trying to save all the people inside the building and he can't, so he is this angry person who fears what Superman may do. Why are they just going to trust this superpowered alien? What if he does decide to turn against us? Appearing as a guest on the Nerdist podcast, Man of Steel screenwriter David Goyer responded to the complaints about Superman killing Zod at the end of Man of Steel. He said, "This was a Superman who had only been Superman for like a week. He wasn't Superman as we think of him in the DC comics, or even in a world that conceived of Superman existing. He'd only flown for the first time a few days before that." Anthony Mackie, who plays Falcon in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, was always going to be pro-Marvel. It's just the nature of the business. Nobody expects him not to support the franchises he's a part of, but it seems he has a real personal dislike for DC Comics, and especially for the Man of Steel movie.
What was the last good DC movie you saw? Exactly, Marvel.
I was going to say Man of Steel. I love Man of Steel.
You're bananas.
No, I love Man of Steel.
You're bananas.
In TV news, US military families were treated to a sneak peek of the CBS series Supergirl this past week and were greeted by some surprise guests.
Some very special guests were also there to meet some of the show's newest fans after the screening.
It is such an honor to be here to be showing this episode that we worked so hard on, a show that we're really excited for, to the true heroes of this country. And you guys are the real heroes, and this is a privilege.
Supergirl debuted with very strong numbers on Monday night, coming out on top with total viewership against all new shows, while also being ranked equal with NBC's Blind Spot as the #1 show in the key young adult demographic. In Nielsen's national estimates, Supergirl was watched by 12.95 million viewers overall. Fans in the USA who want to watch Supergirl again can do so online via CBS.com, where you can also watch it with a commentary track with executive producers Ali Adler and Sarah Schechter, along with director Glenn Winter, taking you through the explosive first episode. Melissa Benoist appeared as a special guest on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert immediately after the premiere of Supergirl on CBS. Just because it's Supergirl, not Superwoman, doesn't mean Melissa Benoist's character isn't a feminist hero. Our own T.A. Hewitt wrote his review of the pilot episode of Supergirl, giving it a 4 out of 5 rating, saying, "I want to see more of Supergirl as there is something endearing about the character displayed." The pilot episode of Supergirl raised a number of questions, many of which may be answered in future episodes, but one question seems to have popped up enough that TVGuide.com sought an answer from the show's executive producers. Why does Kara wear glasses? We actually had a scene cut from the pilot where they are lined with lead, said executive producer Greg Berlanti. We shot a scene where she goes to school for the first day, where she can hear everyone in the school, she can see through everybody. Jeremiah Danvers designed these glasses to help suppress her powers and make her fit in more. In a way, they sort of become a symbol of suppression and being normal. CBS has released a number of promo videos and sneak peek clips showcasing footage from next week's episode and beyond. Titled Stronger Together, the second episode of Supergirl is scheduled to air on CBS on Monday, November 2nd at 8 p.m. When Kara's attempts to help National City don't go according to plan, she must put aside the doubts she has, and the city's media has, about her abilities in order to capture an escapee from the Kryptonian prison Fort Roz. Also, Kat pressures James to use his connections to Superman to get her an interview with Supergirl. Henry Czerny, best known for his role in ABC's Revenge, has been cast to play the role of Winslow Schott, aka the Toy Man, in an upcoming episode of Supergirl. You might be asking, don't we already have a Winslow Schott? Yes, the fact is, Supergirl's friend and co-worker Windshot, played by Jeremy Jordan, is the son of this older Winslow Shot. The two are estranged from one another. The official description states that Toyman weaponizes toys to wreak destruction and revenge, but is ultimately driven by one thing, the obsessive desire to reunite with his beloved son. CBS also issued an official description for the 4th episode of Supergirl, titled How Does She Do It? In this episode, Kara's two identities are stretched thin when Supergirl must protect National City from a series of bombings, and Kara is tasked with babysitting Kat's son, Carter. Also, James is conflicted when his ex-girlfriend Lucy Lane seeks to rekindle their relationship on Supergirl Monday, November 16th at 8 p.m. on CBS. Back in December 2014, we received confirmation that a new TV series called Krypton was being developed by Man of Steel screenwriter David Goyer. We learnt that Krypton takes place years before the Superman legend we know, when the House of El was shamed and ostracized. In a new interview with Collider.com, David Goyer updates us on the status of the project, while mentioning how it's set 200 years before Man of Steel.
Should we make the show, there will definitely be some big moments. It won't be wall-to-wall visual effects every single moment, spectacle in the way that the film will be, but we'll also be digging into the characters and the culture a lot more.
In comic book news, it's with great sadness that we report that legendary Superman comic book artist Murphy Anderson has passed away aged 89. Anderson was a giant in the comics industry and one of the driving forces in the evolution of not only DC Comics but the Silver Age of comics in general. Best known for inking the pencils of Kurt Swan, the pair's collaborative artwork was so popular with fans that they came to be known as Swanderson. On behalf of everyone at the Superman homepage, our condolences go out to his family and friends. Comic books we reviewed this week included Superman Wonder Woman number 22, which was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who rated it a 5 out of 5, controversially saying the punch lower sketch is worth 5 in itself. Keith Summer reviewed Teen Titans number 12, saying, I really want to love this book, but I just can't, and he rated it a 1 out of 5. Justice League number 45 was reviewed by T.A. Hewitt, who gave it a 3 out of 5, saying, sparse character moments are strung together in place of what should be a top story. T.A. also reviewed Bizarro number 5, saying, Bizarro continues to be a bright spot in the DCU initiative, and he gave it a 4 out of 5 score. Doom number 5 was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who said, the plot advances though it is rather thin on substance, and he rated this issue a 3 out of 5. And from last week, Alyssa Gossage reviewed Batman Superman number 25, giving it a 3 out of 5, saying apparently the only way a hero can be interesting is if he is beaten to a pulp every issue. Superman comics available this week from October 28th include Justice League 3001 number 5, Superman number 45, which is available in a variant monster cover. DC Comics Bombshells Chapter 15 digital comic will be available October 31st. Convergence Infinite Crisis Book 1 trade paperback. Convergence Infinite Crisis Book 2 trade paperback. Injustice Gods Among Us Year 3 Volume 1 hardcover. And Injustice Gods Among Us Year 2 Volume 2 trade paperback. Celebrate the debut of the new Supergirl TV series with this great selection of Supergirl tops and t-shirts. Get this Carolina Blue Supergirl t-shirt from $14.52. Or how about a pink Supergirl Youth t-shirt from $14.95. These and other awesome Supergirl shirts and tops are available from your one-stop Superman shop, the Superman homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop. In other news, NECA has released a series of 7-inch superhero figures which include Christopher Reeve as Superman, Adam West as Batman, and Heath Ledger as the Joker. Available through select Toys R Us stores, as well as the Warner Brothers eBay store, the figures are available for around $30 each. They also come packaged together with a DVD. This series of NECA figures also includes New 52 Extreme HeroClix Superman and Batman figures in a slightly smaller scale, released in conjunction with WizKids. The 4th episode of the DC Superhero Girls animated shorts is now online. Titled Crazy Quiltin', it's time for the first project of the year. Bust out your pencils and help Wonder Woman design a supersuit that'll bring out her true colours in the halls of Superhero High School. If you weren't aware, the DCSuperheroGirls.com site features a pantheon of DC Comics characters that have been brought to life in a completely new artistic style through immersive videos, games, quizzes, character photos, bios and more. The DC Universe online video game has introduced a new costume for Supergirl, inspired by the costume worn by Melissa Benoist in the TV series. Anywhere that Supergirl appeared in her traditional costume before has been updated to her new TV costume for a limited time. If you want a closer look, heroes can head to the Watchtower and catch up with Supergirl in the Meta Wing. Head to DCUniverseOnline.com for further details. A number of rare Superman collectibles will be auctioned off in the latest offering from Hakes.com. A one-of-a-kind original watercolour by Frank Frazetta is expected to sell for over $7,000. No other piece like it is known to exist. Other items on offer include a rare Superman bubblegum and picture cards, Superman movie serial poster, and more. Visit Hakes.com to see these and other Superman collectibles being sold at auction. With the multiverse being explored on the Flash TV series, YouTube filmmaker Ultra Sagent has put together a movie trailer mashup titled Justice League Crisis, which incorporates the many different versions of DC superheroes from both film and television. Episode 130 of Radio KAL, the monthly podcast of the Superman homepage, is now available to listen to. In this month's podcast, Scotty and I discuss post-production wrapping on Batman v Superman, the Fortune article on Lex Luthor, the official LexCorp website, behind-the-scenes photos on Batman v Superman, George Miller stamping out Man of Steel 2 rumours, Supergirl flying high on the Warner Brothers Tower, the Supergirl pilot episode, Chris Vance being cast as Non in Supergirl, David Goyer updating us on the Krypton TV series, and so much more, including all the latest comic books. Check it out at supermanhomepage.com/radio. That's all the news there was for the week October 23rd to October 29th. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
Hello everyone, and welcome to a fabulous episode of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V. Thanks for watching. It's Monday again in the grand city of National, and we're here to talk a little bit about the pilot of Supergirl. It finally premiered this past week. I'm sure all of you watched it. If you didn't, then stop what you're doing right now. Don't listen to what I'm going to say and go turn it on. The pilot's available on demand. It's probably on CBS.com, and I'm sure you can still find the leaked pilot, which was all over the internet back over the summer. Now, I myself did not partake in watching the pilot over the summer because I wanted to wait with the great anticipation until it finally premiered this past Monday, and I did. I watched it with my two little girls. We enjoyed it. They were rapt with attention. There were a few times when the younger one kind of lost focus a little bit, some of the quieter scenes, some of the talky moments, but when it got to Supergirl action, when it got to flying around, when it got to battling the bad guys, when it looked like she was in trouble, they both stared at the screen, sometimes concerned. I could tell they were wondering how it was going to go. After it was over, little Lexi, she's 5, said to me she wanted to be Supergirl for Halloween next year because she already has her costume this year. She said, when I get a little older, could I be Supergirl? I said, you can be anything you want to be, just don't go jumping off any buildings. We love girl empowerment. We love the inspiration. We love that there's a hero now on TV that can make little girls and girls growing up think that they can do great things, and I want to instill that in these girls as they grow, that they can do anything they want. But let's not be so inspired that we, do a back flip off the building while Windshot is watching us and then flip over there to laugh about it and tell him how we're Supergirl. There were lots of things to love about this. There were a few things that were a little questionable. I keep saying, and I've said this about the comics, if Superman was around, I really don't expect that he'd just stand idly by and watch as government officials shot his younger cousin with, well, she's technically older, but not older in years. It's very complicated. People ask me, they asked the girls when we were watching it, wait, she's older than him? It's a little hard to understand if you don't follow what's going on, or if you're a kid. She left her planet at an older age than when Kal-El did, but she got stuck in this version in the Phantom Zone. Sometimes it's in suspended animation, flipping around through the cosmos in her ship. Either way, it works similarly. They did it the same way on Smallville, and that was, of course, the latest introduction of her before the New 52. As far as I know, I'm not sure what they're doing in the New 52. I can't differentiate anymore. There have been so many origins for Supergirl, but the show does it so that she left Krypton at an older age. She was sent to protect her little cousin, Kal, or Kal-El, they call him. They call her Kara, and I'm okay with it. I did mention a few weeks ago that I love it when it's Kara. That's my favorite way. I think that sounds the best. It rolls off the tongue more easily. As Kara, it's not as pretty when it's said that way, to my ear, anyway. I didn't love the opening when the show started and we saw that little Krypton sequence where she was talking about who she was, and we saw the young Kara with her parents, Alora and Zor. I wasn't thrilled with it. I thought that the acting was not so hot, and I thought that the dialogue was very stilted and not naturalistic, and it seemed very melodramatic. Now, you could make an argument that comic books in general are melodrama. I do like them a little bit more based on the way people really talk. Now, they are Kryptonians, so maybe they have a more classical way of speaking, or maybe they speak in that manner, or maybe they were trying to differentiate between that and Earth. And Earth is very different from that. It's a little heightened. It's a little over the top. You got your Callista Flockhart character, which I did not love, and I knew I wasn't going to from the trailer. She pretty much does everything that she does on the show in the trailer. There isn't too much more to her character as of yet. I imagine with some criticisms that I'm hearing that it seems like everybody feels about the same way. Maybe they'll make some adjustments, or maybe they already have since filming the pilot. That's probably the worst part of the show. The other, of course, being that Superman is out. And we knew Superman wasn't going to be in it, and she's the star, and it's got to be about her, and I get that, and I love her. I think it's fantastic. I love the way they did it. She is Supergirl. I buy every minute of it. I think she's great, well cast, as I said, and the effects are fantastic. I don't love the explanation that James and such are saying that he wanted you to decide for it on your own. I get that, but I think when he saw that there was a plane crashing in National City, not that he could be there every time, but he's so fast and he can fly, unless he's so busy fighting off super-powered criminals right when Kara has to fight them, I can't imagine that he would let her get beat down by a guy with an axe, or let a plane crash, or she was sent from Krypton to protect her baby cousin, and she promised her parents she was going to do it, but then when she got here, she realized he didn't need her protection anymore. Where's he protecting her? She's the young one now. She's the inexperienced one now. She's the one who needs help and guidance and friendship even, and love. And he's kind of not there. So I don't think he's really planning that. I don't think he's over there saying, well, I don't care. I just think that that's the way they had to do it because of the show that it is, and it has to star her, and he can't be around. But it would have been better like in the Supergirl movie years and years ago in '84. They said he was off planet dealing with a galactic war that was going to endanger Earth if he didn't go there and help them. So she could have her own story, but that was only a short time period. If this is going to go on for 5 or 10 years, how could you explain that he was gone that long? Jimmy, terribly cast. Now listen, Mehcad Brooks was fantastic in the role that they gave him, but it's not Jimmy Olsen. He's fine. Kara's going to have a crush on him, but Jimmy Olsen is supposed to be this kind of geeky, unsure of himself, but very good with his camera guy who follows Superman around and becomes friends with him. I get that Superman's been around for like 10 years or something, so Jimmy would have grown up a bit, obviously sure of himself and hunky, and she's into him because he is that way. This is not normally how you think of Jimmy. I'm not even talking about a white guy with freckles and red hair. He's a black guy. That's obviously changing the character there, but he's also just a whole different character type in personality and attitude. But again, the way he's written on this show, Mehcad was fine, but it's not who most people think of as Jimmy, attitude-wise. Win shot, I just recently heard that they've cast the older Toyman, his father. So this is Win, this is the younger Win shot. So Winslow Shot is still going to have been an established villain for Superman, I assume. And we're going to see how that goes on. So I'm liking a lot of what I'm hearing. I love the battles. I love the action. I love the effects. I thought they were great. And mostly, I thought the show was very inspirational. I thought it was emotional. I thought it had a ton of heart. And I thought that they portrayed Kara perfectly. She was everything a super family member should be. She was everything a Supergirl should be. They got everything right. I'm not sure why she's wearing glasses already since the super personality wasn't yet established, if she had normal eyes or if she even had super eyes from the moment she came to Earth. I don't think she would need glasses, but they did the same thing on Lois and Clark. He just had glasses even before he established his Superman identity. Not sure why they wouldn't explain that or have something. I've read that they said they cut a scene from the pilot where they do explain why she's wearing them. It helped her to control her vision, which I always thought was the thing they could have done with Clark on Lois and Clark, but they never did. So I'm not sure, but I loved a lot of it. There is some question as to why they went so heavy with the villain on the first episode. In other words, she's very untrained, she's very inexperienced. She says she hasn't even flown in years, and they got her fighting a very super powerful villain who almost kills her in the very first episode. So if they're just going to do that every episode, it almost seems like it'll just be more of the same, and they already gave us the biggest, a big giant threat right off the bat. And then, of course, little surprise at the end, her mother's twin sister is sort of pulling the strings behind these villains who have crashed from the Phantom Zone. We are kind of now overpopulated. It's kind of the same thing with the Smallville thing where they use the meteor rocks to give everybody powers. Here they just have all these criminals from the Phantom Zone. And in the voiceover, I guess they said it's the most nefarious, dangerous criminals from the galaxy were sent here. So it's not just Kryptonians. Vartox, the guy she fought here, was not a Kryptonian. He says to her, on my planet, women kneel to men. And she says, well, this isn't your planet, which I just love. And I like that she beat him. I like that they came up with the plan. I like that her and Alex are on good terms now. And Hank Henshaw didn't bother me in terms of, some people have said, here we go, we're going to have the over-the-top government official who doesn't like mutants or doesn't like superpowered people. I actually thought it made sense. His job is to protect the world against alien threats, and she is an alien and could be a threat. So he's going to be suspicious of those types of individuals. That's what he should be doing. I'm really looking forward to next Monday and Mondays thereafter. I've heard that the pilot got incredible ratings and did really well. Surprises me, and I hope it continues to have great ratings. I'm sure they'll drop off a little. That's a normal thing. Don't get too excited if they do. But it's double, almost triple what some of these Gothams and Arrows and Flashes get. So I'm very happy about that. I'm loving it. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to next Monday. Is it Monday yet? I hope it comes soon. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And remember, always look up in the sky.